Awesome. Welcome, everybody. And because we've got some new faces and new members, I just wanted everybody um, to introduce themselves. And so I'm going to, if everybody could just go around and say who you are and what your title is and who you're with, I think that will help our new folks. And so I'll just begin because that's the way I am and it's Friday. So I'm Elaine Abbott, Regional Broadband Coordinator with Sunrise County Economic Council, and I'm going to turn it over to Dodie.
Hi, Dodie Emerson, and I am the Employment Training Specialist 3 in Washington County for the Maine Department of Labor Career Center. Basically, that just means I'm team lead for it's just a fancy way of saying it.
And Melissa.
Hi, Melissa Mattis. I'm Director of Operations for Down East Community Partners.
And you are new to our coalition, and I'm glad you're here. And Laura. Laura. Okay. We'll get back to her. James.
I'm James Jutras. I'm with Sunrise County Economic Council, and I'm a grant coordinator.
And then we will hand it over to Brooke unless Laura's back. Oh, okay. Laura just had a community member come in. So Laura Thomas is with Mono and Mono. And she said she'd be right back. And so I'm going to hand it over to Brooke at this point to introduce herself, tell you what she does, and so that you're aware she's here. Take it away, Brooke.
Hi, I'm Brooke Hashey. I work for Sunrise County Economic Council. I'm the Affordable Connectivity Program Coordinator for Washington County. Did you want me to tell a little bit about ACP or?
Oh, these folks know what they know what ACP is, the
Okay.
Affordable Connectivity Program. But what do you do in specific, Brooke?
I spread awareness of ACP and enroll individuals in ACP. So just a little bit about what I've done. I think I've just hit my 1 month mark here. I have been reaching out to CEP schools in Washington County, which are schools that have free lunch through the government. Every household that has a student that attends a CEP school is automatically eligible for the program. So I've been working on that. I've been working with WIC and other partners because, as you probably know, everyone that receives WIC is eligible. I've been working with the colleges because everyone that receives Pell is eligible. So basically a lot of outreach right now and getting my name out there and trying to convince people that it's not a scam.
Right. So if someone wanted to, say, host an outreach event for awareness, or maybe Mono and Mono wants to enroll people to host something, or any organization wants to say, hey, we'll set up a table for you. Could you come, and is that something you can do, or?
Yeah, definitely. I spoke with Maria over at Mono Mono a little bit actually about doing that. I was just working on getting my flyers in Spanish, and now that I know a little bit more about what I do, coming up with a date to actually put on the flyers. I did come up with one flyer that is in Spanish, and I had it available for the Millbridge Elementary School and the families that are Spanish speaking. So right now it's just a lot of getting my stuff switched over to Spanish, but definitely.
Definitely awesome. And so we also are putting funding in to our year 2 budget for the digital equity work to have SCEC has a bilingual staff member. And so she would be available to go to Mono and Mono and say Millbridge Elementary School to help with translation, interpreting, that sort of thing. So that's important for you guys to know as well. And so that is super cool. And I want you, Brooke, because I can't stop telling people about this. WIC, Tell these folks what you did when you contacted WIC.
I actually went to like the tippy top of WIC and asked if they send out text messages to their WIC participants every once in a great while. So I asked if they could send a text to the Washington County WIC recipients with my information and a little bit about ACP. So we're in the works of getting that done. They have no way to break it up between Washington County and Hancock County, so it's also going to go to Hancock County, which is fine. So each WIC recipient should be getting a text with all of my information and information about ACP.
And I just want to say that at this point, because, you know, Brooke's day is not over yet, she's already interacted with about 2,000 people, close to 2,000 people, about the Affordable Connectivity Program. So, Brooke, if you don't mind dropping in the chat how people can get a hold of you, if they say know someone who needs help, or they would like you to come on a specific day or whatever to outreach, how would they get a hold of you in order to do something like that? And is there anything that they need to provide for you to hold an outreach event?
I don't think so. I mean, I guess it would depend on what the event is. But so far I've been attending open houses and I just request a a student's desk to sit at and I'm good.
And a chair.
Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is pretty much a necessity.
Yeah. So does anyone here have any questions for Brooke or about the ACP?
I would just say it's been wonderful to chat with you, Brooke. We've been messaging and calling and getting connected. And she's been wonderful answering all my questions and
Fantastic.
sending me additional resources. So,
And so Laura, you had to step away. So if you want to just quickly introduce yourself, because we've got some new people here.
sure,
Just
yeah.
who you are and your title and who you're with.
Sure. So my name is Laura. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the Director of Access and Advocacy Programs here at Mono and Mono, which includes everything from our seasonal outreach to advocacy on different sort of, I guess, farm worker legislation. It also includes our food pantry and transportation support, along with interpretation and translation support in both Spanish and Haitian Creole. Yeah, I think that's sort of what we do.
Sums it up. Awesome. Well, thank you for dropping that into the chat. So if anybody wants to get a hold of Brooke, even if you know one person who needs help signing up for the ACP, now you know how to get a hold of Brooke, and she'll take care of you. Now, here's the cool part, and why I'm so glad that you're here, and why I'm one of the many reasons why I'm recording this. Okay, so we worked together, our coalition did, to come up with a digital equity plan for Washington County. And Melissa, if I haven't sent that to you, please let me know. I did? Okay, awesome. So we have some funding left over from our grant through Maine Connectivity Authority. And so here's what I'm in the process of doing, is that we are, Maine Connectivity Authority is allowing us to submit a budget adjustment. And so we will have approximately, if it's approved by their committee, which will be October 13th, it goes in front of the Maine Connectivity Authority staff grant committee, whatever. That $30,000 roughly that we have left over will then be used to purchase and give away somewhere between 80 and 100 refurbished laptops through Give IT, Get IT, or brand new tablets. And that's just step one in this. So how that would work is it would be probably in November or sometime November, December at the latest. We would start telling people about it, about these devices. You work with the covered populations. And so if you know of someone who could use a laptop or a tablet, what you would do is you would refer them or connect them with the National Digital Equity Center. NDEC would then either by email or by phone would do an intake. They would talk to this person to find out which type of device is best suited for them. If someone says, look, I want to work from home, I could work from home, I can't afford that, or whatever, I want to go back to school, I can't do it because I can't afford a decent laptop, then, or whatever, they would not get a tablet. They would get a laptop. If someone says, look, all I want to do is talk to my kids in wherever, I don't care, Mexico, California, New Zealand, that's really more a tablet. So, that, stay tuned on that. Then with our year 2 grant proposal, we are putting in a request that our coalition members would get like they'd have like an account of, I think we're looking at $3,000 a piece. So I'm going to pick on Laura, that Laura and Mano and Mano would say have like a credit of $3,000. And here's what we're proposing. And I'm just picking on Mano and Mano here. Say Mano and Mano says, okay, we want to purchase 3 laptops so that they can be public access in Mano and Mano, or we would use it as a loaner device for people. And then we want to use the rest of it to buy tablets and refurbished laptops. You can do that. Maybe your organization is like, we just want to, like Washington County Adult Ed is one of our coalition members. She couldn't be here today. They do loaner device programs. So maybe they're interested in using all that money to beef up their loaner device program. Maybe Dodie, maybe you or Melissa, maybe you know people that, look, we have constituents in the covered population who could really use some devices. Then that's how that would work. So you can see it can be a hybrid, all of one, all of another, or a mix of the two. But with that one, it would be, if you want devices on location, or for loaners, you would directly contact Give IT, Get IT, because they'll help you get what you need. If it's a matter of the covered population, say you have a constituent, a client, whatever, who really needs something, that would go through NDEC. They'll do the intake so that you're not weighted down with this. So you would only go directly through Give IT, Get IT for devices that you want on location. Does that make sense? Isn't this going to be exciting? So, yes, everybody. So the first round, we will know later in October about that our request to change over the $30,000 for devices. So that would be starting ASAP. As soon as we get clearance, we're going to start that. And then the other one, where we're looking at like $3,000 a piece just for the devices, that would be the grant for that closes today. We will know the grant cycle, the funds become available December 1st. So we can hit the ground running, December, January, whatever. I don't think it'll take long for us to give away these devices. So some of the things I wanted to talk to all of you about besides that is, so one of the things that I've thought about is, so with the covered populations, rural is one of them, and that's a no-brainer. Everybody in Washington County is considered rural. So I would like to have, and I'm talking to you because you're my coalition here, guys. So I was thinking what we could do is have them meet 2 of the covered population and I'm going to pick on Mano a Mano again, because Laura, for whatever reason, you're filling my screen. So you have a low income, English as a second language, qualified. We have someone who is formerly incarcerated, low income, qualifies. And so that sort of, I want the low income, because what I don't want is, say, me who makes way too much money, but well, hold on, that's being recorded. I don't make way too much money for the program. I'm not low income, but I'm rural. You know what I mean? So I don't want that. So that's why I really think that the income requirement is important, and then one other covered population. So what are some of the other ones? Veterans, low income veteran. Bang, qualifies. Does that sound good to you guys? What do you think?
Are you saying that low income has to be one of them, or can it be two others? Like second language veteran?
That's a good question. Thank you, Brooke. On a Friday
You're welcome.
afternoon. Thank you. Dodie, do you want her back?
She actually just stole what I was gonna say, so and
Let's
I
talk
also
about
was
it.
gonna ask, if you're gonna go with income guidelines, are you gonna use poverty guidelines, or you're gonna use like a 200%, so that we can capture more people?
That's my question to you. That
She was
my
having a
next-
relaxing Friday until she jumped in a meeting with me and Dodie.
Those are actually my questions to ask you. So yeah, let's talk about it. I mean, and Melissa, don't be shy. James.
Yeah, I was actually going to jump in because my world has been Head Start prior to being in operations, and that is federal poverty. Boom, that it's the lowest of the low. And we know that there are many families who we would consider low income, well above that. The other thing is, Charles, and I'm sure you all have seen it, did a kind of living wage, put together some data around that. And that's tremendous in Washington County, to a living wage. So I would want to go to 200%, maybe, as Dodie suggested, because that's a real vulnerable group there. That I think, anyway.
Okay. Laura, how do you feel about this? The 200%?
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, there are so many things that impact the seasonality of wages for individuals, and whether you're looking at what they're making right now, what you're making sort of annually, because that can be like, yeah, very different for our community members. So just, yeah, thoughtful, I think, might be about that too, is if you're looking at what they make over the entire year versus just in, like, say, July and August, which is very different.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, we usually annualize because of the seasonality. You know, we can have someone apply midwinter who does summer work and their income is low, but they may make quite a bit of money in the summer. And so if we do that kind of span of a year, we can piece together all the odd jobs and which ones are steady too. I mean, sometimes folks have a random odd job. They don't know that they're going to get that again, kind of thing. So.
Okay, James agrees on the 200%. And Dodie?
That's a great point. Maybe do previous year's tax records for income verification or something like that, so that it's all captured and you know what the annual is, instead of, as Laura mentioned, maybe it's a seasonal thing and they've made a lot of money, but then they don't make anymore, so it kind of equals out.
Awesome. And I'm just going to point out, I do not disagree with you guys at all. I like it that it also matches the ACP requirements. And so I just want to point out that that will drastically increase the number of devices that we're able to give out. But, you know, that's also going to go through them faster. So that, I absolutely agree with you. I love it. Once the other coalition members watch this recording, then I'm just going to, hey, coalition members, please email me and let me know if you agree with the 200% guidelines that the ones here have agreed to. if you're watching this recording, please let me know. Thank you. So let's
Elaine?
talk about, oh, James, yeah.
If you're concerned with the units going too quickly, you could also do a ranking by people who qualify for more than 2 of the criteria. To help at least get it to the people with greatest need, something for the group to consider.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
So-
also, I don't think we answered Brooke's question, did we? Or that was also Doty's, which is low income a hard stop there as one of the 2 plus factors or not?
Hmm.
Doty, would you advocate it would not be? I'm curious.
I'm really not sure. I do think that the low income piece is important. Maybe it's low income in one other or 3 of the other, just so that because I mean, what are some of the criteria? You've got veterans, right? Rural, everybody's going to be.
Yeah, right.
So
there's
that
like,
doesn't even really count.
it's not terrible. It's like, I can't, let me pull up the list, okay, of
I mean,
covered.
when you think about it, if we're talking about devices and income are any of the extenuating not extenuating, but sort of criteria, the impact monetarily, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So if you have a higher income and you have these stressors or these situations, I don't even know what I'm calling them, but you know what I mean. That there may be need around those things, but providing a device when their income is here and this stuff isn't like crazy impacting their income, then how, to me, I would prioritize someone with low income and some more of these criteria just in affordability. I don't know. And I'm new to this group, but that's what's coming off the top of my head.
You said what I was thinking very well. Yes, I do think that income does need to be part of that for sure. Maybe the thing, income and something else other than rural, because that's just the area.
We're all right.
Yeah. So
exactly.
income and 60 or older, income and just released, or income and minority group, that kind of.
Right. So I dropped in the chat the list.
Oh, okay.
60 and greater, incarcerated veterans, persons with disabilities, racial or ethnic minority groups, rural, ESL language barriers, low literacy, and here with incomes not exceeding 150% of the poverty level. But
Okay, are those set in stone? Can we adjust the 150 to 200, or
I
do
think
we
that
have to go with?
I think we can, because this is federal digital equity guidelines, and the federal ACP program does 200%. So I think we can. I think we can. That's a great question, but I believe that we can. So what do you guys? Yeah.
I think Melissa's point, as she was saying, and correct me if I grabbed that wrong, Melissa, is that because someone's 60 or older doesn't mean they're low income, or because they're a veteran doesn't mean they're low income. So I think both of those need to, especially if it's to get a device that they can't afford.
Yep.
That's why I think income, and I think 200% is awesome.
Yeah.
And definitely one more. And I like James's idea of because the number is going to be limited for us, the number of devices is going to be limited. I like the idea of ranking, like if they meet more. We have a low income ESL veteran living in a rural, whatever, okay, that to me ranks higher than, if we have to start,
Yeah, that was my question, is in terms of, I don't know how it works, but we do ranking in Head Start in terms of needs, but we also have a distinct time where, okay, this pool we will accept out of this pool today. So if you have requests if they're coming in one at a time, you wouldn't want to like hang on to one that maybe only has 2 of those criteria, hoping you're going to get a 3 or a 4, and how long will that take? And so I do like the idea of ranking, but I just, in terms of, how would you implement that, I guess?
Yeah.
Do we want to try to, just a thought, think about an open application period, and then that's when everybody can apply, then you can rank them and have them please check off every single one of these criteria you meet, kind of thing, on the application. That might be the only way not to hold people and wait.
Yeah. Yeah, and how has it worked, Elaine? Help me. Again, I have no context for
How does what work? I'm sorry.
how you get the application, how you know how people apply for these. Like, how does that happen? Or is that what we're figuring out right now?
That's what we're figuring out. This hasn't been
Okay.
done here before.
Got it.
So, yep,
Got
this
it.
hasn't been done here before, which is why we're having this conversation. So we can think about it. We've got months, before, because then there's another step, folks, on my nasty little list for us to think about is we can set criteria for recipients of these devices. For example, they must take an internet safety class.
Mhm.
And these classes are free. They must take an internet safety class, and maybe they must enroll in the Affordable Connectivity Program. Because if they're qualifying for this, then they would qualify for the ACP. And that would take $30 off their bill. If they're, it's just another step to help them. Here's a free device, and everybody needs to be safe online. And that you need to either have enrolled in the ACP, or you will enroll in the ACP, because we have Brooke to actually sit there and help them do it. Because low-income people, that's why we have Brooke doing what she's doing. Low-income people are spending more than what they need to on internet.
Are these classes online? How are the classes? So they'd
so-
have to get their device in order to participate. But
There
once
are,
yeah.
So there are some that are in person and in Washington County, and there are always online options.
Yeah, I was just thinking of accessibility, folks
Exactly.
who don't have cars, can't get out, but that computer, that device is gonna, whatever, you know what I mean? So.
Yep. And the other thing too that I'm thinking about is I don't mean to make these devices for individuals. They're going to own them. This is not going to be something that we're going to take back after a year. They will own it. But if you guys decide as organizations to purchase devices for loaners or to have on site, that's a different story. Those then belong to you.
Right. So, yeah, and we also say, here's your device. Now, like, if you break it, if you need repairs or anything, they're signing, they know that that is their responsibility.
You completely read my mind, Melissa, of having that little bit of clarification in any agreement that once it's yours, you break it, you're out of luck. Yep.
Yeah.
So with these devices coming through Give IT, Get IT, they also have tech support.
Oh, good.
Dial the phone or send the email, whatever. They have tech support. They connect people with the classes if they need to, So
one of these populations says incarcerated individuals. Should that say reentry, people in reentering? Because if they're incarcerated, they're probably not allowed to even have a device.
In some facilities, they are.
Oh, okay. Okay.
In some facilities, they are. And I'm not completely certain what goes on in Washington County. I know that the individuals, that the incarcerated individuals, they do have access to tablets.
Mm-hmm.
And so of course they're all set up so they can't be doing whatever on them. And but they have to pay like by the minute or something
Yes.
to use it.
Yeah.
They can send an email and it's like, or whatever, they can, I don't know, it's some fantastical amount. I don't even dare say because I can't quite remember, but anyway, but they have to pay to do that. And so while that's on the list, um, that certainly is something to re-entry,
Or maybe
but
even just justice involved.
yeah. The only thing we have to be careful of is if someone was involved in the justice system or currently is, and they are not allowed to own by court order, not allowed
Right.
to own one. And so that's something that because Give IT, Get IT has no way of knowing that. None. So if a court has ordered, I'm not allowed to have a device because of a previous offense or offenses, Give IT, Get IT has no reason to know that.
We wouldn't
So
know either, right?
we could put something on the form and, that way they're,
Okay.
we could certainly add that because that would be the only. So with this first round of funding that we're hoping to get for November or so, that would be us talking to the people that we work with on a daily basis, whatever, and identifying someone and saying, oh, James is typing here. Okay, maybe each group could also have loaners for their discretionary needs and for those who do not exactly fit the program developed. That's a great idea. Yep, that's a great idea too. You see, there's a lot to think about here, guys. There really is. This is a really exciting opportunity. So the first round would be NDEC. Basically, we would be identifying these folks and saying, I'm going to connect you with the National Digital Equity Center, and they will do the intake. They will take all that burden from us. And then we're just referring. And then with the second round of funding, you'll have like an account. You can get however many devices you can get, and you would go directly to Give IT, Get IT. Individuals would go through NDEC so that they're getting the right device for their needs. Because there's a big price difference between a tablet and a laptop. And I need to grab my fleece. It's cooling off. Hold on, guys. Fall is here. So this isn't anything that we're going to be able to solve today. But there's a lot of good ideas coming out here. Sorry, guys. And yeah. So I think this is the stuff that we need to think about. Yeah.
Can I just make a random comment? I don't
Please
know
do.
why I'm thinking of it, but members of a racial or ethnic minority group, are we still using minority language? Does that drive anybody else crazy?
That's federal. I didn't make. I just
No, I
copied
know
it.
that. I know that, but I'm just like, yeah, I think we need to check our population. I'm not sure. In Maine, yes, but in the rest of the country, minorities are shifting, and it just seems like old language. That's all. I didn't mean to
Interesting point.
sidetrack it.
Interesting point. Yes, interesting point. Then on the subject of funds, for those of you who have been eligible to receive a stipend for your participation, that's most everybody, not the state, sorry, Dodie. That MOUs will be coming out probably in November or so. And so, Melissa, you're the only one on here, I think that's wasn't part of, but your organization did receive a stipend. We're still looking at $3,000 to participate in these meetings. So that is separate from the $3,000 we're talking about for devices.
Yep.
Completely separate. Use it how you will, buy more devices. But to offset, so those MOUs will be coming out, so keep an eye out for those. But there's a lot here to talk about with these devices. And so are we kind of thinking 200% of the federal poverty guideline, and at least one other not rural
I
to
think
cover
so.
to cover as many people as possible.
Mhm.
I like it. One other not rural. All I do is broadband and look, I'm writing. Okay. And so with the parameters on this, meaning like internet safety and ACP enrollment, because NDEC, National Digital Equity Center, gives a certificate of completion when someone completes a required class. Whether it's like Excel, advanced Excel, say for someone who's on unemployment or whatever, they give a certificate of completion with the like contact hours on it. So I do believe that internet safety is very important, particularly, and as we, in the state, as our coalition, we did all our interviews and stuff, and as the state did statewide surveys and interviews, internet safety is the #1 concern of like, I don't even remember, it was phenomenal. You can't say it was 100%, but it might as well have been. I live online and I have a concern for it. So I don't know how you feel about, I think that those two things are extremely important. The ACP enrollment, because we have someone who can help them, and internet safety as a condition of receiving the device.
Yeah, I like that you keep adding that Brooke is going to be there to help, because that's you start adding requirements to families or individuals with so many other stressors. It's just going to be like, I can't
Yes.
take that on. I can't do that. So if we have accessibility addressed and supports in there to help make that happen as easily for that person, I agree, Elaine. I think those are really important points, but with the support.
Yeah, no, that's what, so Brooke is full-time ACP. That's her, what she does. Individuals and group outreach. She had to jump early because she's headed off to another outreach session. So, and she has been assisting people one-on-one with enrollment. So that is what she does. She's all ACP all the time.
That's great.
So yeah, so I really like that. So does everybody feel comfortable with the internet safety and ACP enrollment? If they fit the low guidelines, low income of 200%, then they fit ACP. And why pay when a lot of the providers, that $30 off means they're getting internet for nothing? There are plans out there that $30 takes care of the whole thing. So yeah.
That's an ongoing $30
Mhm.
discount. Wow.
Yeah, who knows what's going to happen if there's a federal shutdown, but we've been promised
I
that
think
there'd be
we
some
may be
notice.
on to when there's going to be a federal.
Tick, 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 tick.
Yeah, I know. I've been like Googling, and it's like, yeah, it's not looking good, kids. So
Yeah.
hopefully
Don't we
they'll
do this like every year now?
Yeah,
it feels
it's
like
like
it. It
it's
feels
It
like
like
does, doesn't it?
it's
Yeah.
like an annual event, like, you know, 4th of July and
Mm-hmm.
I was on the
Fun.
call with our federal Head Start person, and she said, I've been in this so long. It happened during the Clinton administration. It happened during Obama administration. And I think one of the Bushes too. Cracked me right up.
Oh heavens.
Yeah, it's happened.
So if I can ask you guys just to give some thought to, just in the back of your mind, just how you might see this working, any questions you might have, that would be fantastic. Just as you're thinking, maybe on your drive home, or whatever, think, here's a question, something we didn't think of. Then send it and we can talk about it. We're definitely going to have to meet again And I want the feedback from the coalition members who are viewing this recording, because they couldn't be here. I'd like to know what they think. But I'm very happy with this whole idea. And of course, there's plenty to work out. And what else was I going to? And because infrastructure is part of digital equity, if you don't have internet, I just want to let you know, because some of you may live in these communities, but the communities of Vanceboro, Lambert Lake, Waite, Talmadge, Topsfield, and Cassuth all submitted for a Connect the Ready grant for fiber build to every home and business that wants it. And so
Wow.
we'll know more at no cost to the communities. And so we will know if that's awarded mid-November or so. And then I am working with, I think it's a grand total of 24 communities in Western Washington County. That basically, if you draw a line from the airline, think Dayblock Township and all those others, all the way down to Steuben, all the way out to Beals, and then moving, toward Jonesport and Jonesboro and Columbia and all those in between to Marshfield up to Northfield. I am working on that enormous regional build for fiber to those communities as well. So that there's going to be a meeting of the local leaders for that on October 11th. So if you live in Cherryfield, yes, your town is interested. If you live in Millbridge, yes. If you live in Columbia, yes. So all those towns. So there's some exciting stuff bubbling up on the infrastructure front as well. And Laura says, once we get through seasonal outreach, I'm going to reconnect. Oh, whoops, that was a direct. Yeah.
That's okay. I was sending it to you, and you're welcome to share that. I know it's on my radar, and I have like all these emails in my email box, and I want to make that happen.
Yeah.
But it's been so busy.
Yeah, I know, blueberry harvest and everything else. So, Laura, absolutely. So we have Katya, who McClellan, who she can go and conduct those classes in Spanish, translate. And that last I knew, NDEC was finishing off. I think they were testing the curriculum to make sure that the Spanish made sense or whatever. So, but yeah, we definitely need to do that. And one other thing, because it is Friday and we're bumping up here, is that the not hotspots, connectivity hubs. We are looking at, so it looks like Maine Connectivity Authority is going to be doing funding for connectivity hubs. They're hoping for 2 in each region. And so we have identified Mono and Mono being an ideal location, which of course would be open to the public, but basically that guidance will be coming out soon. And we're also looking at the region, the Danforth region, because it's ultra rural and Mono and Mono. So it's a great location, easy to get to, walkable in many instances. So that would be open regionally, and the Danforth region is just so rural that, it just makes sense to pop one there too, if we can get funding for them. And so that guidance will be coming out late this year with grant funding opening up in January or so, I believe. So we've got some work to do on that score, like what that looks like. So anyway, stay tuned for that. And because I don't have enough information yet to provide, but so connectivity hubs would be great. And yeah, so okay, you guys have anything for me outside of the fact that I just overwhelmed you with all this fire hose of information?
It's all good stuff.
Yeah, that's
Exciting.
good.
It's nice to I'm adamant that all that work we did on our plan is not going to collect dust on a shelf somewhere. So it's really exciting that we're going to be able to start putting some of this into action. Very exciting. So, all right. nobody has anything else, I will stop the recording. And if I can find where it is, there we go. Change location.